we do have a number of resources. We have our website where you can go and find out general information on our meetings and on the different resources available. You can go to our meetup and become part of that community so that, you have everything coming to you as far as notifications of the meetings, who the speakers are going to be, what the topics are going to be, and can RSVP and help out and interact with us that way. We also have a Facebook group, and we also have a hidden LinkedIn group. The way it works, you go to our website, you apply to join, you'll go and gain access to being on our mailing list and receiving our emails. From there, you could also email the entire group. We ask that be kept to messages pertaining to job search or, related topics to career management only. In addition to that, you will shortly get a invite to join our LinkedIn group following your admission to the group. One thing I wanted to do a little bit different today is I see a lot of longtime members. I was wondering, is there anybody on who it's their first time meeting today and joining our group? The three names I see that I'm not familiar with: Ashish, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Chicky.
Yes,
Are you
it is
are
my
you new
first
to the
time.
group?
Yes, I got connected by Tony Calabrasi uh,
Okay.
from REA. So he asked me. It's my first time. I recently just moved to Livingston, New Jersey. So yeah, at the
Well,
I came out for an
well,
appointment, and my camera is not on. So
well. You're welcome. We're happy to have you as part of the group.
thank you so
And
much.
if you want to give a little introduction to yourself, we have many of our longtime members on the conference today, and hopefully we can focus on helping you. Would you like to do your elevator pitch?
Yeah, so I can quickly do that. So my name is Chike Agba. Um, I'm a husband and a father of three. We recently moved to the States in September of 2019. We just got from Lagos, Nigeria. Uh, Prior to that, I have been working in the telecoms, renewables, energy, and recently in the healthcare space. Been working for the past 11 years. Uh, as soon as we moved into New Jersey, I joined Columbia University in their executive MBA program, and I've been doing that up till now. That's about it.
Okay. And are you searching for a position right now, or are you
Yes.
just joining
So
us
I'm
for career management?
I'm searching. I just recently started searching, which is where Tony from REA comes in. I recently just started searching, so I'm looking to connect to the community. Most importantly, first of all, from deeper connections within the community, and then second place would be to probably find something doing afterwards.
Okay. So the way the Breakfast Club was founded, we really try and exploit the 6 degrees of separation. So by joining the group, which everything is free, we're a pay it forward group, you'll then have the ability to join our LinkedIn group, and you can connect to each of our members. And we have over 9,000 members in the tri-state area between Philadelphia, New Jersey, and New York. And, over the years, many of our people have actually even landed outside of this area. So we have members in most of the 50 states of the United States. But, build our network, use the email as much as possible. So if you see an opportunity at a company and you want to try and find out more about its culture, try and get to the hiring manager. Put an email out to the group, say, hi, my name, your name, how to reach you, and that you're looking for contacts at that company. And then our people, many of them will have either work there now, or know somebody there. They'll reach back out to you, and then you can start a conversation offline and find out more about the company you're targeting. Many times you can find out a lot more about the opportunity that you're seeking. And, sometimes you could even get to the hiring manager, which are all things that will greatly enhance your ability to land the opportunity that you're seeking. And on top of that, we have a lot of different advice on there on how to turn an unknown opportunity to a known opportunity, how to, use a T letter to your success in your job search. So, please, make use of all the different aspects of the Breakfast Club that we've put forth to help you in that job search. Okay, you're no longer alone. You're part of a great group, and we're here to help you.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so with that, David, I'll turn it back to you and Jerry to start the program today.
Okay, well, as Frank indicated, Jerry, Peyton, and myself are on the leadership with Frank and a few others, and we lead the speaker committee. And Jerry leads that. I'm kind of his Robin. And so, Jerry, the meeting now is yours.
Thank you, David. Let me introduce today's speaker. We have a great presentation for you today as well. Marty Latman is called by many people the best networker they know. He's a people helper and matchmaker. As a managing partner of Latman Advisory Services, LLC, he provides business consulting services to help organizations achieve their business goals and improve their profitability. Marty also provides mentoring and career coaching services to professionals. He's the co-chairman of the Financial Executive Networking Group and the resident coaching expert. I'd now like to introduce Marty.
Thank you, Jerry. Welcome, everybody. Good morning. It's good to see a lot of familiar faces. I'm glad to be here. It's a great time of year. The holidays are always a great time to network. I'm going to go through the presentation. If you have questions, feel free to just shout it out if you want. This is your time, and hopefully, even if you take one little piece of what I have to say today and implement it, hopefully it will help you in everything you do. It's not only job search, but it's in everyday living. So let's talk about networking during the holidays. These are the items that I'd like to discuss today. I want to talk about, number one, the holiday myths that are out there. And, we talk about them. It's there. And we have to break it down and really see what the truth is. I'll talk about the realities of the holiday season, ways to connect during holiday today. And this is unusual this year in that, to some extent, hopefully we're coming out of the COVID era. And so a number of groups are starting to meet in live format. People are starting to meet more in person. Just think where we were a year ago, how different it was. So some of the stuff that I have to discuss today, you could look at it both ways. You could do it either in person or you could do it virtually. We'll talk about, some of the ways on virtually how to connect. I'll give you some networking tips that I think are important during this holiday season, the networking tools that I think you need, and then we'll just wrap it up and we'll recap what we have to say. So buckle your seatbelts, everybody. Let's have a good time. Just have a cup of coffee, enjoy yourself, or a cup of tea. And here we go. Today, and it seems every year, when people talk about the holidays, this is what they talk about. That number one, between now and New Year's, is not the time to find a position. Most executives are not thinking of hiring people. Most hiring people are thinking of the holidays and year-end vacations. Some companies have the policy, take your vacation before the end of the year or lose it. So people are taking them now, okay? And most hiring people are taking time off. And the reality, though, when you look at it, companies are really, they're examining the issues relating to hiring people for New Year's, and they want to get set for 2022. So really what's happening, there's really a great reduction in any business travel. Executives are available to talk to people. They want to get people hired. The supporting staff, those are the people who are usually on vacation, because they are the ones who generally, when it comes to vacation, either use it or lose it by the end of the year. So it's the support staff that is generally out on vacation now. I'll call them the gatekeepers. And another thing that's happening, budgets are generally in place today. I know I have one of my clients who I mentor, and we will go over on Monday the final budget that he has that he's presenting to the board on Tuesday. So budgets are in place, okay? And the executives are looking at it and saying, number one, do I have money in my this current year's budget that I haven't spent that I can spend? And number two, I know what my budget looks like next year, and I want to get the people in place day one. I want to start off the year with a full staff. So with those two factors, executives are looking at, let's get people hired now. Okay? And the other thing, in reality, a lot of people believe in the myth still that companies aren't hiring. So they are sitting on the sidelines, okay? And so as a result of it, your competition, if you are in the job market today, okay, the competition between now and New Year is reduced. A lot of people are saying, well, no one's hiring right now. I'm not going to really pursue it. I'll wait until the beginning of next year, 2022. And the one thing that's always true is that during the holiday season, people are generally in a good mood. As a result of it, people would like to, help other people. They like to talk to other people. And so it's a positive mindset at the moment. There's different ways to connect during the holidays. Okay, you could do it live, or you could do it virtually. Social drinks with old bosses, current, and older, customers you have. Okay, the colleagues, your vendors. Now's a good time for that. You could send cards, regular cards, or you could send e-cards, emails with holiday greetings. And at the same time, when you do that, you could update people on your search, okay? I could tell you what I generally do every year. I send a holiday message to people in my network. I sent it out about a week ago. And within 3 days, I had over 9,000 comments. So when you think about it, in doing it, you could get a lot of information out there to a lot of people in a short amount of time. And, sending cards, it's a personal touch. Okay, the emails you could send directly to people. Let them know that you care. Let them know that you're around. Let them know what your current status is. This is a great opportunity to update people on what's going on with you, and at the same time, gives you an opportunity to find out what's going on with them. I just had a good friend of mine. She just left her current company about 3 weeks ago, and now she landed in a really good position just last week. So things are happening. You could send gratitude emails for those who helped you during the year and who networked with you. Why not? Tell them that you appreciate, the help. It's good to have them part of your network. Okay. You look forward to continuing a relationship with them. Find out what's going on. You can send cards, emails, e-cards to the people who you interviewed with. Okay. Containing a holiday greeting and, expressing your desire to work for their company. All right. And this is one thing that a lot of people do not do, but it can have a big impact on your search. It's by sending, regular cards or email cards to those companies who passed you over earlier in the year. Okay, they had a different candidate who they chose, but over time they got to evaluate the person who they selected, and they might not be totally thrilled with the performance of that person. And if you send an email to the company just thanking them, take the high road, you just want to wish them a holiday greeting, just tell them that you're still interested in the company should the opportunity arise, and you'd be surprised. You might get called in for that position that maybe you interviewed with 6 months ago. So think about that. Take the high road over here. Be positive. Check your LinkedIn, your social media area for people who you want to send greetings to. Okay, these could be people who are not necessarily in your network per se. I call them people of influence, POIs, and they're generally at this time, there's a lot of holiday cheer around there. So send a note to these people, and you'd be surprised how many people will connect with you at this time. And this will help you expand your network and your sphere of influence. And of course, send holiday gifts or greetings to those people who helped you during the year. It doesn't have to be elaborate, just a small token of your appreciation. I know my wife sent to the vet we have for our cats. She sent the vet just a mug with a picture of 2 cats on it, and I cannot tell you how the vet called us back and was so happy and thrilled to receive that. Okay, it's these little things that make a difference. And volunteering. A lot of people could use a lot of help right now. Okay, and if you volunteer, you get to meet some really, really good people. You're there to help other people. And you know what? Generally, when you're helping people, it feels really, really good. And people get to see who you are. They get to notice you, especially in an informal situation. And that really helps in your networking. And, it's paying it forward. How to do, network virtually. For those people who say, well, I'm really not ready to be in person. I'm not ready to, go out and mingle per se. But you still could, network. And here's how you do. You could set up times and coordinate delivery for things, such as, wine tasting. You could have virtual wine tasting parties. There are certain companies that are really, really good at this. They've been doing it now for 2 years. Now you can find them in the internet. And then what you do, you invite a couple of people. They all get wine at a certain time. And then you could set up a time where you all could celebrate together. You could also have food tasting events. You could have virtual classes together. Cooking for the holidays. How to gift wrap, which A number of people really don't know how to do. They have their problems in doing it. But if you do it, you can do all this virtually. Why not? And there are other things that you could do virtually. Okay, you could have, a trivia contest, so to speak, with a bunch of people. Get them all together on Zoom. Okay, you could have a scavenger hunt. Let's look for these things. What do you have in your house? You'd be surprised what people might have, what people might find. Okay, you could have virtual dinners. Okay, now these items over here, you could do them live, but at the same time, if you don't want to do them live in person, do them virtually. It's really simple. And obviously, there's always a virtual cup of coffee where you meet people, talk to people. From a networking standpoint, some of the tips to consider are this. In today's environment, with so many events happening, okay, so many different groups, and with the holiday season, so many extra groups, some holiday parties are all virtual today. Some are in person, okay? You really have to be selective, however, in the events you choose. Okay? There's 24 hours in a day, okay? You want to, select the ones that you think will be, make you feel real good and can give you a lot of success in connecting with people. So think about that as you go through it. Not everyone. Before attending, what you might want to do, which is very helpful all the time, find out if you get a list of those people who are there, who signed up. When you have a list of the people who signed up, you could do a lot of information gathering on these people, especially the ones you do not know. You could see they could be in in your target companies that you're looking at. They could be people of influence, or they could just be interesting people who you just want to connect with. But think about it. So ask for the person who's running the event. See if you get a list of who signed up for it. Okay. What you want to do though, before you attend any of these events, plan ahead on what you're going to say. Elevator pitches, and I'll use plural because you need more than one, should be geared towards your audience. You have a theme on what you want to project, what you want to, let people know about you, about the value that you add to companies. But at the same time, you want to know, okay, what's the makeup of the group? Are these the people, let's say if I'm in marketing, are these going to be all marketing people? If there are all marketing people, I could use the language that we use, shop talk, so to speak, using the terms and verbiage that we talk about in marketing. If we're in a finance group, we could talk about the different things we're doing from financial situation, IFRS, SOX, FOX, S1s, S8s, 10Ks. Okay, so you can use that language, but plan ahead on what your pitch is going to be based upon the group. Set the goals as to what you want to accomplish during the meeting. Okay. Do you want to set, go to this meeting and feel that you want to connect with 5 people who then you want to have further discussions? Do you want to go over here and find out information about my target companies? I see there will be some people who worked at my target companies and they are no longer there. They could give me an inside view of how it was when they were there. Okay, people are still working there. Well, let's find out how it is working there. What's the culture look like? What's the pluses and what's the minuses that they see? So it gives you a great opportunity when you plan ahead and say, what do I want to accomplish? Okay. And dress appropriately. Be it virtually or in person, especially virtually. I think, from my standpoint, my observation is that on these virtual meetings, the dress codes, so to speak, have really been laxing. We're professionals, dress as professionals. You know, some of the things that I've seen, I said to myself, really? Would this person be in his or her office dressed like this? Think about it. So dress smart, dress appropriately, and look for people you could connect with who can provide introductions to other people. These are the connectors. These are the POIs, the people of influence. And these are some of the people you want to connect with, because they could help open the doors to other people and other opportunities for you. And this is a great time to do it. And do what I consider working the room. What I mean by that is that you have to plan. If you're in this meeting, use the chat, talk to people. There's just so many communications that you could do as we're speaking right now. So use the chat to connect with people at the meeting, to set up other meetings with them. Okay, it's not difficult at all. And what you can do, you could introduce people in your network to other people who are at the meeting. Be open, be friendly. Okay, let people know that you care, and that will really be helpful as you network and expand your network, and at the same time open doors to other opportunities that you might have. The tools that you would need when you go to these meetings, it's like anything else. It's the same thing. You want to have a positive attitude, okay? Especially now, the holiday season. Nobody wants a Debbie Downer. Okay, be positive. There's a lot of things to be thankful for right now. Okay, so look forward to talking to different people. Be positive. If you are upset, if you're angry, okay, I suggest you don't go to some of these meetings until you calm down. I have next week, I have a discussion with one of the individuals who's one of the 900 who was laid off from better.com. I was supposed to connect with him yesterday, but he had the flu, so he postponed it until next week. And just through some of the chatting that I have been doing with him online, I have an idea about how he's feeling at the moment. And we have to make sure he has a positive attitude when he goes to meet other people. What you want to do if you're doing a virtual, put your name, maybe your email address, or your current role, the position that you held on your screen, so people can know what you're looking for and they could easily contact you. Okay. When you have your introductions during these virtual meetings, deliver your elevator pitch. And what you can do, add it right to the chat. Okay. This way, when people save the chat, they'll know, they have information about you. It's really helpful. Don't be bashful. Okay. Now's a great time to network. Okay. Let people know you target companies. Also, let them know that you don't spell that well. Your spell check didn't work that well, but let people know you target companies. Have a marketing plan, which will take you. This is your current, what you've done, your professional profile, so people know what you're all about, and also have on it your target companies. Okay. Get a strategy for working these rooms virtually or in person. Okay. You don't just show up. Have an objective. What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? Okay. How could you accomplish it? So have your plan and their strategy before the meeting. And then follow up with the people at the meeting, okay? It's one thing to meet people. What you want to do when you first meet them, obviously, is to set up another meeting so you could have more depth, networking together, and follow up with them and do it rapidly. Don't wait a week. Do it a day. Do it, maybe 2-3 days at the most. But do some follow-up work. Are there any questions so far? I guess not, David.
No, actually there is one. I'm sorry, I missed one. Candace has a question. I'm interested in higher ed jobs, particularly Rutgers. I have a connection with the recruiter, but he doesn't handle marketing communications jobs. I've asked if he could connect me to the recruiter who handles these positions, but he hasn't been open to it. What advice could you give me to reaching the recruiters that handle marketing communications positions?
A couple of things. First of all, speak to some of the people in your network if they know of recruiters who they could recommend who deal in the marketing space. You could also, if you go on to MANG, the Marketing Executive Networking Group, if you're a member, you could speak to the people in MANG. Or if you're not a member, sign on anyway, and you could get to talk to people in MANG. You could also do a Google search of marketing recruiters in the New York metro area, and then you get a list of recruiters. Okay.
Marty, can I
yes.
add into that?
Go ahead, Frank.
Who asked the question?
Candace Waller.
Candace, the book that I wrote, Career in Transition, 100 Ways to Achieve Job Search Success, my co-author is Mark Beal, B-E-A-L. He is the professor of marketing and communications at Rutgers, and he'd be glad to help you out.
That's great, Frank. And Frank's book is a really good book. I think on one of the first pages I wrote something for you, Frank. It's really a good book to get. It's very handy dandy, and the way it was written makes it very easy to follow, and you could go in specific areas. So, recommend. That's a real good book to take a look at. Thanks, Frank. Anything else we have, David?
Yes. One or two of you, please make sure you put the word question in front of your question, because I want to make sure I don't miss your question, but there is one here. Do you have, and actually to Candace, there's also a website called HERC Jobs, Higher Education Resource Council, hercjobs.org. I put that in chat. Those are all sorts of higher ed positions. There's a question from Elizabeth. Do you have some recommendation for crafting a good elevator speech? That's yes, the next program, right? After this one.
I have a whole presentation on that. When it comes to elevator pitches, yeah, I would tell you, why don't you connect with me, and then we could talk further. But to make it real quick, there are 7 pieces to an elevator pitch. It's what I call the 4 C's and 3 W's. The 4 C's, you want to make it a clear pitch. You want to make it concise, and I would say under 90 seconds. You want to make it compelling, where you want to make it interesting. And also you want to make it, consistent. What I mean, you don't have to say the same words each time, but you want to have the same type of theme on what you're all about. And then the 3 W's, which is really important. One is who you are, your name. The other one is what is your role, what you're all about, not your title, because a number of companies have the same title, but the responsibilities are different. So what's your role is the second W. And the third W would be, what value have you added to companies in the past? Basically, if someone's listening to you, they are trying to say, well, if I work with this individual, how will I benefit? What value will I get from working with this individual? And if you cite some examples in your pitch as to what value you had added to other companies, that could, what it does is that it tells others that you could add value to their organization. So follow the 4 C's and 3 W's, and if you want, contact me and I'll give you some more information on it. Because as David mentioned, I have a whole presentation on elevator pitches, and it could help you put together a really good elevator pitch in under 3 minutes. So, anything else, David, at the moment? There's a question.
Let's see. Question. Oh, she's asked to put your contact info. And from Joe, what are good places to go to find volunteer opportunities?
You could do a Google search once again, okay, on volunteer groups in my area. Look at your mail, okay, especially now you're getting from a lot of not-for-profits that are looking for donations. A lot of them also need help. Look at them locally. Speak to people in your, let's say in your congregation, your religious organizations. Talk to people at the what's called Chamber of Commerce in your area. They're all over the place. You just have to ask about them. Yeah, ask your religious leader. They'll tell you some areas that need help. So that's how you can find things out. Nancy just put in his local Facebook group, so you could also look at. So different places to find all this information.
There's also in central New Jersey a group called Trenton Area Stakeholders, and they haven't been active since COVID, but they used to meet every other month. And it was a networking group of central New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania networking groups. So I will put that link in chat. You can connect with them if you're in that central area.
Okay, great. All right, let me just go through some of these final tips, and then we could have further open discussion. Keep this in mind that being in transition today is your permanent job, and landing's only temporary. Okay, the positions that you will land today is great that you'll land, but at the same time, most people work for 7 different employers during their career. So jobs are not permanent anymore. Don't expect to gold watch. Don't expect to work for a company for 15, 20 years, even 10 years. Okay, keep that in mind. Also remember, everyone lands. Everyone lands. If you're on this call and you're in transition, just remember, you will land as long as you continue to pursue it, because everybody lands. When you're in transition, what you need to do, you have to think strategically. There's no rules. There's not a rule book on networking. And what you have to do is think about the circumstances, okay? Every moment there is an opportunity to land a position. I went in to get my hair cut one day, and I was, the day before, I'll call it downsized. They really called it reorganized, but I was downsized. I spoke to the woman who was cutting my hair. She asked how my day was. And I told her, well, it wasn't the greatest today, but we'll move on. I told her what I did. She said, I might have a client later today who might need you. She spoke to that client. He called me on Monday. I saw him on Tuesday. He hired me as a CFO on Friday. So you never know when opportunities are out there. You know, what you want to try to do is meet the POIs, the people of influence. These are the connectors. These are the people who could help you meet other people to get the positions you want. ABC, everybody. You always want to be connected to people in your network and reach out to connecting with new people. The people in your network, you should be connecting at least once a year. And during this holiday season, it's really not difficult. Send them a card. Send them an e-card. You know, I'm thinking about you. Happy holidays. You know, what's going on? Let's chat. ABP. Always be positive. Negative and depressed people do not get hired. And always be prepared because of this. Every moment is an opportunity to land. So be prepared for it, okay, and act accordingly. And the two most important words I believe you should have with you, it's not only, you know, when you're in transition, but I think it's also in life. It depends, okay? Depends on the circumstances. Your actions generally have to, you know, be adjusted for the circumstances that exist. So, in as much as no rules, okay, there's no blueprint, you want to think strategically. So, if someone tells you, you know, your resume has to be 2 pages, where's the rule? There's no rule. It depends on the circumstances. Just to recap on what, you know, I discussed today. Well, here we go. Avoid the holiday myths regarding, you know, the lack of hiring right now. You know, people are hiring. People are hiring today. Okay. Between now and generally the first week after New Year is generally the boost in hiring. In one of my groups, I keep track of everyone who's landed. And this group I started in 2002. And when I look at it, I could tell you a large number of hiring happened the week before Christmas and the week after Christmas. It just happens that way. So, you know, it's the, you know, pedal to the metal. Okay, go out there and network. Okay, people are available to talk with you. Okay, they're in a good mood. So talk with them, reach out to them. Okay, companies, they have their budgets in place. They want to start the year off with a full staff. So, you know, they're looking to hire people. You know, you hear about it all the time, you know, there's the shortage of workers. Well, that could be debatable. I think some of the companies, however, they have so many requirements, and they're saying, well, I want the ideal candidate. Well, at the moment, you know, they're reassessing that and they're hiring more people because they know it's the beginning of the year coming up and they want to get people on board. So they're hiring. Okay. There's many ways to connect with people at this time. You can do it either live or virtually. Okay. Don't say, well,
If
I'm not going to go out. I'm not going to meet people in person. And so I can't network.
Marty,
That's nonsense. Yes.
if I could add a point there, a couple meetings ago, I had brought up all the gig talent platforms that are out there. You know, if you're out during this holiday season and you definitely want to work, you know, through the gig talent platforms, there is a plethora of opportunities that you could get engaged in quickly, and they pay quite rapidly, sometimes same day through Venmo, through direct deposit right into your account. I highly recommend looking at these gig platforms There's even ones like Live Exchange and Limitless, which, look for you to look for a company that you really like. Maybe you really like Apple or you really like Microsoft, and you're so enthusiastic about their products that you'd like to get associated with them, and they do have gig opportunities available. So as I said earlier with the gig, you could be underemployed, but you definitely could at least get engaged and start earning income that way and enhancing your resume and, being able to explain gaps that you were doing gig work while you were looking. So Marty pulled out earlier that, volunteer opportunities are a great thing, and they are to, explain your downtime and, give worthwhile benefit back to deserving organizations that you may belong into. But gig working is very good. The other thing is, social media has significantly changed the landscape of how you look for a job. I don't know how many people on the bridge are familiar with Reddit, but if you go to Reddit, you'll be surprised at what other candidates for companies and possibly similar jobs that you're seeking have left out there as far as, information regarding their experience, advice of how the hiring process works. I mean, it is a treasure trove of information for people that are seeking an opportunity on information that they can have readily at their fingertips if they just go out there and look related to these employers, the jobs that they're filling. Sometimes they have tests that they give to the candidates. They even tell you what type of test it is, where to find out information on it. You know, they even guide you on, salary for the position, so you understand, what the employers are paying. So you could sit there and, right up front have a quick acid test if it's reflective of what your salary desires are. Does it make sense for you to invest the time to go after it? So, it's almost as if job search is becoming an open book test now, much different than it was. We always talk about the different phases that the Breakfast Club has gone through, and we've always been one that's been very progressive around digital technologies. We were one of the first to create a Yahoo group. We, leveraged LinkedIn as soon as it came out, Facebook, Meetup, all of these capabilities. But now more than ever, I would say go out and look at things like Reddit and all. And then, you have the tried and true techniques and approaches that Marty is sharing that supplement that once you have that knowledge on how to make the most of the opportunity by good old fashioned networking and blending it in from those insights that you gain from those different social media websites and other resources. So please, marry the two together, and you'll be very dynamic in your pursuit of your candidacy.
Well said, Frank. Well said. Everyone, here's some other things to think about. And make sure you have your information in your toolbox. Okay. Your elevator pitch, you have to have a resume, you have to have a good LinkedIn profile. You want to know about have references available. Don't give them out yet. Tell your references what's going on with you in your search. Okay. Think strategically on how to connect with people. Okay. It just doesn't happen. Think about it. Who could help you connect to who? And what would you have to say? What do you want to say when you speak to different people? Okay. Develop your strategy for working the room, either virtually or live. I personally, I miss the live in-person meetings. It will come. I understand that. Some of the groups that I belong to have already started in-person meetings. We had a holiday party in one of my groups on Tuesday evening. That was really nice. People starting to come out, but at the same time, there's certain types of protocol that we've been using in these meetings. But you know, they're happening. So have a strategy on what you want to do with these events and do follow-up. Okay. Too many people, okay, they meet somebody and that's it. They spend 5 minutes with that person at a meeting and that is at the end of it. That's just the beginning. Okay. What you want to do is have more in-depth meetings to get to know people and for people to get to know you. You know, one of the things that people talk about is that they say, you know, the most important part of networking is to get to know people. You know, you want to get to know a lot of people. Well, in my opinion, that's only half of the equation. The real equation is to be successful at networking, you have to get to know a lot of people who get to know you. When they get to know you, they could spread the word about you to other people. So you want to have a situation where if you have a connection and someone's speaking to that connection and says, you know, I'm looking for an individual who's really good in marketing. Well, you want your name, you know, to come up right away into the head of your connection. So that connection could say, well, yeah, call Candace. She's really good at what she does. Okay, that's what you want to do. So to do that, you have to develop relationships so that people know you. That's what's important. When you know people who know you, that is really what networking is all about, with building that relationship. You know, spend time working to find your next job. Now's the time, everybody. Don't sit on the sideline. You know, pedal to the metal. This is a great time. Other people are sitting on the sidelines. Okay. And just, you know, spend time with your family. Take a deep breath. Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy the holidays. Have a safe holiday. Have your loved ones. Treasure them. And I want to wish everybody a happy holiday. And I want to thank you for, you know, spending the time with me this morning and allowing me to tell you different ways how to network during the holidays. And for those who want to connect with me, I welcome people on LinkedIn, welcome people to join my network. I am here to help you. And Dave, thank you very much for putting in the chat. This is how you can get a hold of me. It's real simple. Okay. And I welcome, you know, people to connect with me. Whatever I can do to help you, I'm here to help you. So, and with that.
Yeah, so Marty, thank you. There are still a couple of questions.
Okay.
And yep, so Candace has a question. She has two. Here's the first one. Can you share some examples of what to put in holiday greetings for job search?
Okay. I'm trying to do something for a second. Hold on a second. The question is, are these people who you know, or are these new people? That's the first thing I want to know.
So Candace, if you want to unmute, you could speak with Marty.
Hello?
They're both. Like, you know, there's a certain amount of people, they might say maybe 10 people that I've kind of networked over the years, but there are also some people that I know that I would just like to get information from. So I know those letters would have to be different.
Yeah. Okay. So what you could do, okay, is that I'm trying to get back to where I was before. Whoops. Am I still here?
Yeah, just share your camera, press the camera button. and you'll pop up again, but your voice is there.
My voice is there? Okay, so.
Yeah, but there's a camera button at the bottom of the screen. It's probably gray. Just make that green.
I'm not even there, David, anymore. I'm out to a main screen.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I mean,
so you have to just listen to me, that's all.
Okay.
Oh, there
that's
we go.
fine.
Okay, basically what we want to do in going through this is that you want to tell people.
there you are.
Okay, you want to tell people, say, well, first of all, I want to wish you a happy holiday. Okay. Hopefully, you know, all is well with you and your family, your loved ones. For new people, you might want to say, look, you know, I've heard about you, or I've read information about you. I've checked, you know, seen your profile. Okay. And you're a very interesting individual, or I see that you specialize in. Okay. And I really would like to, you know, connect with you to see if we could find things that we have in common, that we could further the relationship. The key in connecting with people is to find something in common. It's either same profession, same companies that you've worked at, same interests, same, you know, education, same college that you went to, different things that you have in common.
Mm-hmm.
And if you put that in a note, and that's why you want to, you know, talk with them, and that's what helps in connecting with people. And it don't make it long, your note. Make it pretty short. All right. Does that help you?
Yes, that's good.
Okay.
And she had a follow-up question. Do you think business cards are still relevant? And she means the more personal one, not the one from her company.
Well, number one, I think, you know, I think she's hit the nail on the head, so to speak. Everyone, I believe, should have their own personal card. Okay, not a company card, business card, a personal business card. And do I think they're still relevant? Yes, I still do. Right now, because we're not, you know, meeting so much in person, you're not going to hand them out. Okay, so at the moment, you know, put it to the side. But you'll need them, in my opinion, when you go back to the physical meetings. It's one thing, you know, they have apps today where you can exchange through your phone, you know, contact information. That's fine, you know, that's one way to do it. But by having a physical card, you know, you have it on your desk, you'll look at it, okay, you're not going to toss it away necessarily. And that will just be a reminder of the, you know, the person you met.
Hey, Marty,
You know, yeah.
I'm holding mine up if people can see it. Very simple, but it gets the point across. And the back is blank for notes, either for you or for them.
Yeah, and when you have both sides, it's really beneficial, because it really tells people what you have, what you're all about. So I think they're relevant. That's my opinion.
The other thing I would add is, especially since you alluded to how business cards are helpful when you're in an in-person situation, build a website. You should have a professional website as well, so that you can be found and seen online. It can augment your LinkedIn profile. But you know, it'll show that you too are relevant, because you are comfortable with technology, you're available on technology, you're a current person.
Do we have anything else, David?
Yeah, Sam has a question. Can you expand on the concept of a strategy on how to work a room? And of course, that's another 1 hour presentation, but if you can summarize it real quickly.
Thank you, David.
And as you can tell, I'm one of your guru followers or whatever, so I know a lot of your presentations.
Well, thank
Stalker,
you.
I'm almost a stalker.
You know, Sam, you know, working the room, actually, that's my favorite presentation that I really enjoy delivering. You know, a lot of people go to these meetings and they just say, well, I'm just going to go and I'm going to go meet people. Well, what does that mean? Okay, you're going to meet people to do what? And what you want to do, you want to look at and have a purpose. Why am I going? Now, be it physical or be it, you know, virtual. Why am I attending the meeting? Well, I want to meet people, but what do I want? What's the reason for meeting these people? Do I want to meet people who can help me find a position? And if so, are they in my target companies? Okay. Do they know people who could put me in touch with people in my target companies? You want to have questions that you're going to ask of people to find out information about them when you're at these meetings. You have to plan ahead, in my opinion, before you attend the meeting. And what I like to do is get a list of who's going to attend. And then what I do a lot of research about these individuals. What I do is that, you know, I'll take a look at their LinkedIn profile, try to see where they worked, try to see where they went to college, see what they like to do, their interests, think about, you know, their skill set. And as a result of it, I could have a conversation with them to ask them different things about, well, why did you choose this university that you went to? Okay. Has it helped you in your job, sir? You know, in your career? I see that you work at ABC company. You know, I'm interested in the company. Could you tell me things about it? Okay. When you go to these meetings, it's never about you. It's always about the other person. And what you want to do is that you want to find out more and more about the other person. So that's the strategy you have to, you know, take into account. At the same time, you want to look at, let's say you go into a live meeting. And if you're going to go to a live meeting, the meeting is going to be, I'm going to say, let's say it's scheduled for 2 hours. Well, if you're going to go for 2 hours, how many people you want to meet within those 2 hours? Well, let's say, for instance, I want to meet 10 people. Well, if I'm going to meet 10 people, how much time do I have to spend, or should I be spending with each individual? Well, I have 120 minutes at the meeting. That's how long it's going to last. You cannot spend 12 minutes with those people, each of them, because there's always a transition between leaving the conversation with one person and then getting into another conversation with another person. So you have to have in your mind about how long you want to speak with these people and what what kind of questions you want to ask them. So those are some of the strategies you want to look at in going to these meetings. If you're going to go to a physical meeting and there's a number of people who you do not know, well, what you might want to do is speak to the person who's running the meeting and ask them if they could, point out to you different people who you would like to meet, so that when you see, when they enter the room, that person could give you the sign that that person's here. Okay. So there's different strategies in working a room. On virtual, well, it's a matter of, it's very similar, who's going to attend, what's their history, okay? What information do I want to find out from them, and then how could I do it? Okay, how could I put it in the chat? to ask some simple questions and then arrange for another meeting. Because generally
So
when you,
Marty,
yes,
if I could expand on what you're saying. So
go ahead, Frank.
the Breakfast Club, we tell everybody to join the group by going to our website, and then that gets you on our communication list for emails via groups.io. And then we tell you on one side to also join our presence on meetup.com. So before you came to this meeting today, you should have RSVP'd to attend. You also could have gone in and seen a list of everybody who was RSVP'd to attend today's meeting. In advance of the meeting, you could have went out, looked them up on LinkedIn, looked them up if they had a profile on meetup.com itself, gone to our Facebook group and seen their profiles there. And now that we've had the meeting, at the end of it, you're going to get a list again. Go through it. Maybe you remember the person's picture and not their name. Maybe you remember the name and not the face. It's all there for you. And there's a great amount of follow-up you can do from that. Additionally, we have the LinkedIn group. Go into the Breakfast Club LinkedIn group and start connecting to each one of the members. So what we try to do here is the meeting is only the tip of the iceberg. Go into Meetup, go into the Facebook group, go into LinkedIn group, go through all these different avenues that we have available to you and grow your network. Imagine by next month's meeting, if you effectively do that, how much bigger and richer your network could be, all the relationships that you could establish between now and then, and really how much you could improve your positioning both for job search and for your career management within the next month alone by following those simple things. And you're dealing with people who are all networkers. You're all part of the same group, and they're receptive to that type of follow-up. So, this is really an unpolished diamond, but it's up to you to polish it up. Reach out on Meetup, reach out on LinkedIn, reach out via groups.io, connect with the people, build the relationships. That's really where you're going to push your candidacy and, your connections and your network and your relationships to the next level.
Well, Frank, you bring up a number of points. Networking is really part of your career. Okay. And one of the things that I've always said is that if you look at the word networking, you have to work at networking. It doesn't just come. You have to spend time and effort in networking with people. And as you said, once you start building your network, okay, you can increase the size of your network pretty rapidly. When you start meeting people, okay, and start really networking, asking certain questions, okay, different areas where you can meet people, LinkedIn, as you say, Meetup, etc., Facebook. People are out there, okay. Myself and some of the people who are here, Ken and Nancy, we developed this system that I think you should take a look at. It's called mynetworkingcentral.com. If you go to mynetworkingcentral.com, it's an area for job seekers, for networking groups, and for speakers. And we put them all together so that the job seeker could see different networking groups that are available to that individual. Also, the speakers and what they talk about, etc. So there's a lot of tools out today that can help you in your search and to build your network. But, bear in mind that networking requires work. And that is work not only when you are in transition, but you have to maintain your network when you are employed. And I strongly suggest that once you land, you're not going to be able to network as much as you do when you're in transition, but you should spend at least 5-10% of your time when you're employed in networking with other people. Because as I said before, in today's market, okay, jobs are temporary, okay? Jobs are temporary, networking is permanent. So keep that in mind. Any other questions?
Yeah, Marty, thank you. There's another question from Candace. A contact offered to connect me to someone with a 10 to 15-minute phone call. What are 2 or 3 questions to ask? How should I start and end the conversation?
Well, yeah, well, I got to know what the context of what you're asking over here. When you say, someone told you to contact this person, in what way? What's the purpose of you contacting this individual? So could you provide some detail on that?
The contact is I'm looking for jobs in marketing and communication. And so he knew of someone I knew was like, oh, I applied for a job and I didn't get the job. So he was like, well, maybe you could I could set up a call with this person. You could just talk to them about, their future goals for the year or whatever. And so I was like, okay, but I wasn't sure, like, what I should say or.
So the person that you will be contacting is the person who has the job?
Well, there was a job I had applied to. And so my contact, my friend, he was like, oh, let me see if that job's still open. And the job was not, it was given to someone else. So he's like, well, what about doing a phone call with her? And I was like, I'm open to meeting anybody, but I wasn't sure. Like when you have people saying that they'll refer you to someone like in your field or maybe, to give you advice, I wasn't sure what I should say or how I should open the conversation or so that's why I was, hoping you give me some tips on that.
Okay, do you have the phone number of this person or the email?
No, it's going to be via phone.
It will be phone. Okay, so you
Yes.
have the person, and the person agreed to connect with you already?
No, he's in the process of setting this up.
Okay, so your friend is setting up this conversation for you with another individual.
Yes.
Okay. Have you done research on the other individual?
Yes. Hmm.
Okay. And this individual who you will be speaking with, this is the individual who has a position that may be open.
Well, they had one and it's been filled, but he still
Okay.
it might be good if you need to talk to them.
Okay. And how is your friend who's going to make the connection? How is he setting it up? What has he told the individual about you?
I think he just told this person that, he had, a girl he went to school with and she was interested in his position and wanted to know if it was filled or not. That was basically what he said.
So the person who's going to connect you has told the person that you're in the market today,
Hmm.
you're looking for this position, and that you want to speak with this individual. Is that generally what we're talking about?
Generally. Hmm.
Okay. Well, what I would do is that, I would speak to the individual. Tell her it's a female.
Yes.
Okay. Tell her, listen, thank you for connecting with me, accepting my call. I was speaking to my friend, the one who set it up, who said that you'd be a very interesting person to chat with about different positions. I'm currently in the marketplace. I'm looking for this type of position. Would you have any advice for me as to, the people who I may, contact regarding certain types of positions similar to what I'm looking for? And I'd just like to find out more about your background and if you were the hiring manager, what you would be looking for.
Okay.
Okay, that's how I would do it. I mean, if it was set up that there's your friend setting you up to speak to this person and saying that you are in the marketplace, well, tell that person, this is what you're looking for, and ask for advice. And maybe they have other contacts who have different similar type positions. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
No problem.
So, folks, before we wrap up this discussion part of the meeting, any last questions for Marty or an opportunity to chat with him? And by the way, we will keep the session open once we formally end the meeting, so we can kind of hang around the virtual meeting room. But while Marty's with us now, and Marty, of course, you're welcome to stick around with us in the meeting room as well. Any other questions for Marty? Going once, going twice, going 3 times.
So,
okay.
Well, thank you all. I really appreciate the opportunity. As I said before, it's always a pleasure to come to the Breakfast Club. Great group, a lot of information, a lot of great networking. For those who are here for the first time, take advantage of this group. They're really, really good, and they can be very, very helpful to you. Keep on networking. ABC. Always be connected and connecting. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Marty. And as Marty has offered, he posted his contact information in the slide. We put that in chat, and Adrian will be posting the chat a little bit later online on the website. But take Marty up on the offer, because remember, one of the things he said is it's important that networking is about who knows you. And right now, you know Marty, but a lot of you don't yet, he doesn't yet know you. So certainly feel free to take him up on that offer as well. So thank you for being so gracious, Marty.
Thank you, David. Appreciate it, everybody.
And of course, thank you very much. That's for everybody to have a good holiday, of course. And the Breakfast Club does meet each month, each second Saturday of the month. The next second Saturday is going to be January 8th, right after the new year. And our good friend George Pace will be here. Of course, George joins us just about every month as well, but he'll be presenting, as he does, the first meeting of the year. Pandemic Proof Your Career. Pandemic Proof Your Career. Insights from 52 weeks of COVID. And I'm very sorry that George has had COVID for 52 weeks, but he'll talk about that as well. So that's what we have going on next month. You will get an email or notice, hopefully, from meetup.com. You can, of course, check the website, thebreakfastclubnj.com, thebreakfastclubnj.com, and we hope to see you all next week. And, of course, we also hope that you have a very happy holiday season. And just before we officially sign off, Frank, do you have any parting words?
I just wanted to say to everybody, we're getting a lot of inquiries as to when we'll return to an in-person physical meeting. There's a lot of issues here that still have yet to be resolved. And some of those issues are, the way the Breakfast Club works, we're 100% pay it forward. When we have a meeting, there's a cost to rent the room, and the cost has to be recaptured. On the other side, with COVID, due to social distancing restrictions that are still in place, that means for the size of the conference room, there's a strict limit on how many people can be in person. So number one, we have to at least break even on the room in order to be able to hold the function. But as importantly, some of our members travel a significant amount of time and distance in order to attend. And the last thing I would want to do is have people showing up and then not being able to admit them to the meeting because we were, quote unquote, at our capacity for the event. That's just one reason, up front that we're still doing this virtually. The other thing is, there's a lot of different opinions out there among people. Vax or not the vax, mask or not the mask, all of these different variances or paradigms that people have. So, when people meet in a situation like that, some people, may want to shake hands. Some people may not be receptive to it. Some people will think that it's okay to exchange cards. Some people may not be open to it. So, there are so many different variables still hanging out there because of COVID, plus the added concerns of things like this Omicron variant that has just come up, and other variants being discussed that are down in the African region. That we just want to make sure that we're doing it when it is a something that we could pull off, where everybody feels comfortable, it's well thought through, and we're not in a situation where we would be turning people away that spent all of that time and effort to come and meet in person. So when we get to the level where those concerns have been satisfied and are behind us, we constantly keep a pulse on it, but that is why we're not in person as of yet. And we hope that everything returns to normalcy, in the near future, so we could do so. But, we've done our best to deliver value to all of our members in the interim. As you can see, many of our longtime members and volunteers are here on today's call, as they are on every monthly basis. But for those of you that are in transition, or those of you new to the group, take advantage of it. The people have identified themselves who are a leader. Their information is on our website. Their information is on our meetup. I've given you a lot of different things that you could do to network with these and other individuals from the group, and grow your network and build the relationships. So we're doing our best to, keep everything going virtually. But, please meet us halfway and do your part and do the work that Marty's talking about, so that your networking is impactful between now and the next meeting. And we hope to hear a lot of good news about, landings at our next meeting. So with all of that, I wish you all, the best for the holidays ahead and for a great new year going forward.
Great, thank you, Frank, and thank you everybody else. If you're leaving us now for you starting your weekend, that's fine. We are going to keep the session open. We will stop the recording, but if you are leaving, do have a very happy and safe holiday season. And until we get to see you next time, bye everybody.